Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have the Saltwater Taffy collection releasing on March 10th from Savannah Lacquers. These were sent to me for review and they'll retail for $10 a piece, so I'll go ahead and link Savannah Lacquer's storefront as well as social media down below. If you're interested in seeing how these water marbled, I have already gone ahead and tested that, so I'll leave that in the description box too. I'm going to go ahead and get into this swatch and review. So first up is bubblegum taffy, and this is described as a pastel neon pink with a contrasting purple shimmer. So these kind of balance in between being a crelly and a cream. They are a little bit more on the sheer side, but that definitely helps when it comes to water marbling. So I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how bubblegum taffy swatched on my natural nail. So here is one easy coat. These polishes do go on nice and smooth. The formula is a little bit on the thinner side again, which is perfect for water marbling. I really think that these were designed more for that intended use than as for straight creams. They definitely do work that way though. So I'm going to go in for a nice thick first coat here. I'll let that dry and then I'll come back in and show you what a second coat looks like. So here is my second coat. I do feel like this builds up that pink pigment very well, but not completely opaque for me. I feel like even if you had shorter nails, this polish does benefit from having a third coat. So I'll let that dry and then come back in and show you what a third coat looks like. So for my final coat, I am going to go in for a nice thick third coat, but it does bring this one completely opaque. I absolutely love this shimmer in this polish. It is very subtle on the nail, but it definitely adds a little bit something special to it. These also self-level really well. I had no issues with pulling or staining. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. Next up is orange cream taffy, and this is described as a pastel neon orange with blue shimmer running throughout. So this is definitely one of those shades that when you put it on is going to make your skin just look tan and glow amazing. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how orange cream taffy swatched on my natural nail. So here is my first coat. This polish does go on nice and smooth, and you do get a hint of that shimmer even at one coat. It is quite sheer though, so I am going to go in for a nice thick first coat here. I think this polish is actually one of my top picks. I do love how that shimmer plays off the different colored base. They're just a really nice combination. So I'll let this dry and then come back in and show you what a second coat looks like. So here is a nice thick second coat that does build this polish up really well. I did have a nice flash of nail line here though, so I am going to go ahead and opt for a third coat. You may be able to get away with 2, but I do love the effect of 3. I feel like across the board, these were all really easy polishes to use. They self-leveled really well, and you don't have to work the formula at all. So here is my third and final coat, and it does for sure bring this one completely opaque for me. So here is a look at that completed mani before top coat. I do feel like these dry down a little bit matte. You can already see there how tan my skin looks against that orange. I think these are going to be amazing for summer. So here's a look at that completed mani at an angle with top coat underneath direct sunlight. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. So next up is banana taffy, and this is described as a pastel neon yellow with a green shimmer. That green shimmer does give it a tint of almost neon green. This is very bright on the nail. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how banana taffy swatched on my natural nail. So here is one easy coat. Again, this goes on super smooth, just quite sheer, so you're going to have to build it up a little bit. I did get a little bit of brush strokes within this polish as well. It did self-level completely by itself though. You can see when I come in for the second coat, you don't even notice it at all. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for a second coat. Again, a nice thick second coat is going to build this up quite a bit. It is still sheer though, so I'll let this dry and then come back in for a third coat. So here is my third and final coat, again with a nice thick third coat. This does bring this right to the edge of being opaque. Under certain lighting I could still see a little bit of nail line, but this is a very pretty and flattering yellow. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. Next up is key lime taffy, and this is described as a pastel neon green with teal shimmer. So I think this is a really cool combination of colors. That teal definitely brightens up that base a bit. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how key lime taffy swatched on my natural nail. So here is the first coat. Again, really sheer here. I think the green may be the sheerest of the collection, but it does go on nice and smooth. These are pretty much foolproof. You just paint them on and they level exactly where they're supposed to be. So I'll let that dry and then come back in for a second coat. The second coat does brighten up that shimmer and deepen the color a bit, but it is still quite sheer here. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for a third and final coat. So I'm going to go in for a nice thick third coat here, and again this one brings it right to the edge of being opaque. Under certain linings I could still see a little bit of nail line. If you're not into that look at all, you can always use a white undie and do less coats on top of that. So here is a look at that completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. So next up is blue raspberry, and this is described as a pastel neon blue with orange shimmer. Another really cool combination. That orange does kind of show up as gold on top of that blue base, which I am absolutely in love with. So I'll show you a quick brush shot, and I'll show you how blue raspberry swatched on my natural nail. So here is my first coat. Again, this first coat is pretty sheer. I do believe that this is one of my absolute favorites of this collection. I am going to work this first coat a bit just to make sure that I have my complete nail covered. I know I struggle with that, especially while filming. So I'll let this dry and then come back in and show you what a second coat looks like. So here is my nice thick second coat, and it does build that shimmer up and it does build that blue base up, but it is a little bit sheer for me still. So I'll let that dry and then come back in for a third coat. This third and final coat does bring this one completely opaque for me, and the time put into it is definitely worth it. So here is a look at that completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. The last of the creams today is grape taffy, and this is described as a bright neon pastel purple with a pink shimmer. Another favorite of mine, just a really classic and pretty combination. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how grape taffy swatched on my natural nail. So here is my first coat. This polish does go on really smooth, really easy, but quite sheer. So I'll work this one in and then let it dry and come back in for a second coat. So here's a look at my second coat again with a nice thicker second coat here. It does build it up a little bit, but it is still quite sheer for me. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for a third coat. So this is my third coat, and it does very easily bring this one completely opaque for me. This is another one that I do feel like it's worth the third coat. It's worth that little bit of time spent to add that incredible shimmer and really cool color. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. So another polish I have to show you today is Sugar Coat, and this is completely separate from the saltwater taffy, but it does complement it beautifully. This is a microflake holographic glitter topper. So I'll go ahead and show you a quick brush shot. I don't have an application video today, but I am going to show you how it looks over both white and black, and I did use it on top of my water marble as well. So to the left I have it at one coat over black, and to the right I have it at one coat over white. You're definitely going to get more color payoff over a darker color. So here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight without top coat. This one does dry down fairly glossy all by itself. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. So lastly, I also have saltwater, and again, this is not part of the saltwater taffy collection, but it is going to be available. This is the clear water marbling agent. I did go ahead and test that in my water marble video, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. This is hands down the best clear water marble that I have tested. So that wraps up my swatch and review of the Saltwater Taffy collection. These are going to be available on March 10th, so definitely check out Savannah Lacquer. This is her second collection, and I'm really honestly impressed. If you're interested in water marbling, or if you're a beginner, or even if you've not had a lot of luck, this is what I believe that this collection just excels at. So definitely check out that water marble. Check out her Instagram and see all the other water marbles that some amazing talented bloggers have done. If you'd like to see more photos, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.wordpress.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.